guys, we are back with another song by Bad Meets Evil.
Yes.
And which one are we doing today?
So today we're doing the reunion, which is track number 3 off of Hell, the sequel.
I don't think I know this.
Yeah, so this is an interesting song. It's a story, effectively,
Okay,
or multiple stories that become one story, kind of.
that sounds cool.
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like you might recognize there is a chorus, technically. You'll recognize that, but yeah, I don't know if you would
Oh,
know
because
this
you
or not.
play it around me a lot,
Not necessarily a lot, sometimes
but like
though.
you have.
I think so.
Okay,
Yeah, so we'll see.
yeah, we'll find out.
Yes.
And this video is sponsored by Carnivore Snacks. Carnivore Snacks is one of my absolute favorite snacks and my absolute favorite meat snack. It's only 2 ingredients. It's just meat and salt. This is the lamb shoulder. So it's just 100% grass-fed lamb shoulder and salt. And I'll show you what it looks like because the texture is awesome and they're all really delicious. See? See the fat marbling? It's very beautiful and perfectly salted and absolutely delicious. Hmm. Yum yum. And you should really try them if you haven't tried them yet. They are Joe Rogan's favorite snack, which it says right there. And then there's a bunch of other types that they have. I'm very partial to the sliders. Those are probably my favorite. And you can use our coupon code with Smith for 15% off your first purchase, and the link is in the description below. Definitely try the lamb sliders if you've never tried them. Those are my favorite. And we're also sponsored by SeatGeek, which is a really great website to get tickets for, whether they're tickets for concerts, comedians, sporting events. I know there's been a lot of sporting events going on with like football and stuff.
Football, I think
Yeah.
baseball's still, well, yeah,
Yeah,
baseball's still
baseball's
going on.
still going on because they haven't had their World Series yet. Yeah. So lots of stuff going on. Definitely use our coupon code with Smith. You will save $20 off your first purchase ever, which in my opinion is a really great savings. So definitely use it. And the link is in the description below. Also, follow us on social media channels if you'd like to. This is our handle right there. And yeah, that is it for me.
Yes. All right. So once again, this is track number 3 off of Hell, the sequel, and it is called The Reunion.
Hey yo, this next song is a true story. Come here, bitch. 'Cause some things in this universe don't make sense, but somehow always seem to fucking work. Running down 975, about to hop on 696. I look over this fucking chick's trying to fix her makeup. I'm like, bitch, you ain't a plastic surgeon. I advise you to put up your visor. I'm getting kinda ticked. You're blocking my side mirror. She's like, yeah, so. I'm like, so you gon' need a stitch. You keep acting like that, hoe. I look like your husband, slut? That's a rhetorical question. You talk to me like you talk to him, I'll fuck you up. In fact, get in the backseat like the rest of my dates. No bitch ride shotgun. What? Taxi, stop and pick you some maxi pads up. Is that what you actually asked me? Bitch reaches over and smacks me, says I annoy the fuck out her. Get the fucking back, put on your slut powder, you slut. What? Shut the fuck up now or get your feelings hurt worse than my last chick when I accidentally butt dialed her. She heard me spreading AIDS rumors about her. Turn the radio up louder, make it thump while I bump that relapse CD. Tryna hit every bump in that cunt. Thought I snapped back into accent, cause she kept asking me to quit calling her cunt. I said I cunt. She said, Marshall, you ain't really like that, oh. You're putting on a show, where's your mic at? Cause you're breaking my heart. She said, you're breaking my heart. Cause you ain't really like that, oh. You're putting on a show, where's your mic at? You're breaking my heart. She said, you're breaking my heart.
So I do know this, but I only know the chorus. Like, if I didn't hear the chorus for whatever reason, I would have told you I don't know this song.
Yeah, so it is different when you have the lyrics on the screen and you could follow the story while it's being said. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's weird. I don't recognize the story at all.
It's very funny. So it starts off, hey, yo, this next song is a true story. And then you hear Eminem say, come here, bitch. So he's obviously like grabbing her, it sounds like. And then there's this weird little intro. He's like kind of singing. He says, cause some things in this universe don't make sense, but somehow always seem to fucking work.
So basically saying like coincidences and things like that.
I guess so. Yeah.
Because if it doesn't make sense, but it works out, like
Yeah. So it's funny, the first word is wrong. He says flying. So there's a few little things that are wrong, not terribly on the lyrics on the screen, but so he says flying down I-75. Let's see, I have the lyrics on my phone. Yeah, it's I-75, like Interstate 75. About to hop on 696. I look over, this fucking chick's trying to fix her makeup. I'm like, bitch. All right, so well, obviously it's in the middle of the story, but I'll just explain. I-75 and 696 are just like highways in Detroit.
okay.
All right.
I was really confused because the way that this starts out, it sounds like he's looking over at a car next to him. You know, 'cause he's like, I look over, this fucking chick's trying to fix her makeup. I didn't realize she was in the car with him. So then, like, they're having this whole interaction. I'm like, damn, like, he doesn't even know this girl. And then I realize, oh, she's in the passenger seat. But really, the way it starts out, I really thought it was about a girl in another car that, like,
Yeah.
pulls up next to him.
Yeah. So he says she's trying to fix her makeup. I'm like, bitch, you ain't a plastic surgeon. I advise you to put up your visor. I'm getting kind of ticked. You're blocking my side mirror. She's like, yeah, so. I'm like, so? You gonna need a stitch. You keep acting like that, hoe.
Oh my
So it's
God.
very clever what he does here. So very funny line. You ain't a place. The line before was trying to fix her makeup. I'm like, bitch, you ain't a plastic surgeon.
Meaning, like, no matter what you do, you're not going to change.
Yeah, you would need plastic surgery to look made up.
Which is, like, kind of funny because, like, she's in your car right now. So it's like, I mean, you're effectively calling her
I
unattractive, but,
know.
like,
With her.
you're with her.
Yeah. So he's saying, put up your visor. It's getting in. It's annoying. You're in the rear view mirror, putting on your makeup, and
In the rear view?
so in her rear
Her
view.
rear view.
Yeah,
Her,
I
like,
forget what that's called.
her vanity
It's
mirror?
not, yeah, whatever that is. So she's in there and she's blocking his side view mirror. So he's getting annoyed at her because whatever. And then she says, I'm like, so, and then he says, I'm like, so, you're gonna need a stitch. You keep acting like that house. So like
He's gonna
sewing,
hit her.
like SEW, so.
Oh, okay. I didn't think about that.
She's like, yeah, so. I'm like, so, you know what I mean? That's when he says you're
Yeah,
gonna need a stitch. So sewing, stitching, right? So he does a play on what she says.
gotcha.
And then he's like, yeah, I'm gonna hit you if you keep acting like that, saying, yeah, so what? Then he continues, I look like your husband, slut? That's a rhetorical question. You talk to me like you talk to him, I'll fuck you up. In fact, get in the back seat like the rest of my dates. No bitch rides shotgun. So I'll stop there because it continues. So apparently she has a husband, and he says it's a rhetorical question whether
Mm-hmm.
do I look like
Like,
your
don't
husband?
answer that.
Yeah, because regardless what the answer is, if you talk to me like that, I'm gonna fuck you up. And then he
Mm-hmm.
decides you got to get in the back seat because I guess he just remembered that he doesn't allow women to sit in his front
Yeah,
seat.
because I mean, she's there somehow.
Yeah, it's
Or
very funny.
he was fine with it until she started annoying
Could
him.
be, yeah. So yeah, like the rest of his dates, no bitch ride shotgun. Then he says, "What taxi? Stop and pick you some maxi pads up? Is that what you actually asked me?" Bitch reaches over and smacks me and says I annoy the fuck out of her.
So that's interesting because, like, I would assume that, like, he is just with her because he's, you know, ready to, like, have sex with her and stuff. And then she says she needs a maxi pad, so, like, she's on her period.
So the way I interpret this, I'm reading a little into the story that's not in the lines here, right? So he tells her to get in the back seat, and then he says, "No bitch ride shotgun," and then he says, "What? Taxi?" It sounds like she got into the back seat and then made a joke about him being her taxi driver because she's in the back seat. Do you know what I mean? And then he's
That's
like,
dumb.
"Taxi
Why'd you do
driver,
that?
can you pick me up some maxi pads?" Right? And then he says, he's annoyed at it, and then she smacks him and she says that he annoys the fuck out of her.
Yeah.
which is interesting.
Very interesting.
Okay, so she's not in the back yet. So I guess she just maybe made a
Okay.
joke about he would be the taxi driver. So he continues, get in the fucking back, put on your slut powder, you slut. What? Shut the fuck up now. Or get your feelings hurt worse than my last chick when I accidentally butt dialed her and she heard me spreading AIDS rumors about her. So that
Okay,
says,
it's like age. So it's like, is she old? I don't know.
yeah, so it's AIDS, like HIV, AIDS. So yeah, he's saying, again, telling her to get in the back, and then it says, put on your slut powder, referring to the makeup as slut powder, and then stop talking, shut the fuck up, or I'm gonna hurt your feelings. And then he says, your feelings get hurt like when I accidentally butt dialed his last chick and he was spreading rumor that she had AIDS.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Um, he says, turn the radio up louder, make it bump while I bump that relapse CD, trying to hit every bump in that cunt till I snap back into accent. All right. So he's just explaining what's happening here. He says, turn the radio up louder. And he makes it bump, meaning like his system, like
Like
the
bassy.
subwoofer, while I bump that relapse CD. And then he's trying to hit every bump in that cunt. So okay, it
When he
sounds
says that, are they having sex? Like, is that what he
no.
means?
So I think she's still doing her makeup, and so he's blasting his relapse CD, and he's intentionally trying to hit the bumps while she's
Oh
trying to put
my
on her makeup,
God.
which I just find so funny. Um, yeah. Then he says, yeah, trying to hit every bump in that cunt, and then it says, thought I snapped back into accents. So that's a reference to the accents on relapse because she kept asking me to quit calling her cunt. I said I cunt.
Okay, I was gonna say this part. I didn't get it.
Yeah, so it's a reference to Relapse and the accents on the album,
Yeah.
which he's listening to. And then he says can't with an accent, which sounds like
Cunts.
cunt. Yes. All right.
Cunt.
So then we get to the chorus, which is she said, Marshall, you ain't really like that. Oh, oh, oh. You're putting on a show. Where's your mic at? Because you're breaking my heart. You're breaking my heart. And then it just repeats.
And that's like the only thing I recognize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's catchy. It's funny. It's a catchy. The song is so wild, but
Yeah.
it's a catchy chorus. You know what I mean? So the girl, obviously, we just heard that story. She's like, "Stop acting like this isn't really you." You know what I mean? Like you're fronting, you're putting on a show, right? So where's your mic? You know, you're acting. This isn't the real
Yeah.
you, and stop doing it. You're hurting me. You're breaking my heart.
Which is funny because, like, you're married. Like, what do you mean?
I know that is really
Breaking your
funny.
heart.
All right, we'll pick it up here.
You're breaking my heart.
Pull up to the club in the Porsche, not a Pinto. While Marshall's at a white trash party, I'm at Drama Central. I walk up in there looking at my phone on Twitter tweeting. I'm feeling a bunch of bitches looking at a nigga cheesing. I get approached by this little skeezer. She asks me, am I the realest G? Cause I'm Gucci from head to feet. I said, yeah, I'm really is. Cause I spit in your man's face like Cam did that little kid on Killing Season. She said, I'm feeling your big ego. Wait, am I talking wrong? I said, nah, I'm a walking Kanye Beyonce song. She said, I'm mad at you. I said, why? She said, why you never make songs for chicks as if it's hard to do? I said, I make songs for me, leave the studio and go and fuck the bitch who belong to who making songs for you. She said, I'm feeling your whole swagger and flow. Can we hook up? I said, you just used the word swagger, so no. She said,
You ain't really like that, oh. You're putting on a show, where's your mic at? You're breaking my heart. You're breaking my heart. 'Cause you ain't really like that, oh. You're putting on a show, where's your mic at? You're breaking my heart. You're breaking my heart.
This is the last pause. They each have a verse left, but there's no chorus in between, so we'll just let it play.
Okay.
But if we did this and the other two verses, it's going to be like
Too much.
10 minutes of breaking down. All right, so Royce comes in, his first verse. He says, pull up to the club in a Porsche, not a Pinto.
Is a Porsche a horse? Am I making that up?
What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm making that up. Nothing. I didn't mean anything.
So I'm trying to think if there's a logo, if there's a horse in that logo at all. I don't know. So obviously a Porsche is a luxury car and a Pinto is
Not.
a shitty car, but that's directly lifted from White Trash Party, the song,
Ah,
Eminem. He says while Marshall's at a white trash party because in the
Pinto,
like it's a Porsche.
yeah,
So it's the exact opposite.
just
So
spray painted doors.
yeah. So Royce is explaining like, no, I'm not white trash. I'm not driving a Pinto. I'm rich, right? Which
That's
is
cool that he did that. I didn't even realize that. And White Trash Party is probably like one of the songs by Eminem that I actually listen to a lot.
yeah. So yeah, pull up to the club in a Porsche, not a Pinto. While Marshall's at a white trash party, I'm at Drama Central. I walk up in there looking at my phone on Twitter, tweeting. I'm feeling a bunch of bitches looking at a dude cheesing. So yeah,
So he pulls up to the club. Eminem's at the White Trash Party,
yeah,
and everyone's checking him out.
yeah. I don't know what he refers to at Drama Central. I don't know if that's like a
Well, he's
proper noun or
probably
he's.
oh,
Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know if it's a
well, he's probably at a really nice club.
so that's my point. I don't know if it's like the name of something specifically, like a proper noun, or if it's just he's just describing like this drama central over here, like
Yeah,
everything's happening right here. You know what I mean? This is where the drama, everything goes on where I'm at, right?
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. And then yeah, so he's he walks in on his phone just tweeting, so he's not looking at anybody, right? He's just tweeting on his phone, and then he can sense a bunch
Everyone's
of
looking at him. You feel like the
specifically
hot
a
stares
bunch of bitches,
of
he's
the
saying.
ladies.
So the girls are looking at him, and then he says cheesing. So I don't know if
They're smiling
they're
at
smiling,
him.
right?
Yeah.
I didn't know if he was implying him because I was like, that doesn't make sense. So yeah, they're smiling. Then he continues. I get approached by this little skeezer. She asks me, "Am I the realest G?" Because I'm Gucci from head to feet. I said, "Yeah, I'm really is." Because I spit in your man's face like Cam did. So CAM space DID, Cameron did that little kid on Killing Season, not Caesar season. All right, I'll stop there. So yeah, this chick comes up to him, this skeezer, as he says, asked him if he's the realest G, because he's Gucci from head to feet. So he has
So he's wearing all Gucci.
and I'm assuming it has the G logos on it, right?
So it's kind of a dumb
To play on
question.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he says, "Yeah, I'm really is," which it's just funny that he says it like that. And then he says, "Cause I'll spit in your." So this is a reference to Cameron had a movie called Killing Season,
Okay.
which was like it's like a semi autobiographical movie about him, right? But in it, he spits in this, I believe it's a young girl's face, right?
Oh
So
boy.
this is that's what Royce is referencing. He's saying, yeah, I'm the realest G because I'll spit in your man's face like Cameron did that little kid.
Okay.
He continues, she said, I'm feeling your big ego. So the lyrics are wrong there. I'm feeling your big ego. Wait, am I talking wrong? I said, nah, I'm a walking Kanye Beyonce song. She said, I'm mad at you. I said, why? She said, why you never make songs for chicks as if it's hard to do?
What Kanye Beyonce song?
Ego.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, she's likes Royce that he has a big ego. And then she said, "Oh, am I talking wrong? Like, did I offend you by saying that?" And then he
Mm.
says, "No, I'm a walking Kanye Beyonce song." So Beyonce had the song "Ego," and then I believe it was a remix. I don't think Kanye was on the original, but I believe Kanye, the remix had Kanye on it. So that's what it's a reference to.
Okay.
And then she's saying she doesn't like that he doesn't make chick songs. Like, why don't you make chick songs? It's not so hard. And then he continues, I said I make songs for me, leave the studio, and go and fuck the bitch who belong to who making songs for you. She said, I'm feeling your whole swagger and flow. Can we hook up? I said, you just used the word swagger, so no.
So basically he's saying you just fuck the girls who are with the guys that make the
Songs.
girly songs,
Yeah, which is very
which is
funny.
funny.
Yeah. And then she likes it. She likes what he's saying. I'm feeling your whole swagger and flow. Can we
He's
hook
like,
up?
what?
And he does not like that she used the word swagger.
No.
This isn't the first time Royce has mentioned that. So this is back then too. This is 2011.
That
So
was like a thing people said back then a lot.
yeah, and it was played out by this point, according to
Yeah.
Royce. You know what I mean? So yeah, he doesn't like that. All right, and then it went back into the chorus. So we're gonna finish out the song here. They got a verse each. Here we go.
Riding around in this hatchback. We've been riding around in this hatchback till I'm fucking hunchback. Where the fuck's this party at? Slut bag, cunt, cut what act? Think it's an act? Fuck that, I'm trying to shack scuzz. Better find this love shack or somewhere to fuck at. Huh? Don't touch that, you fat dyke. I'm trying to hear some bagpipes from Baghdad. Don't act like you don't like them. In accents I rap tight. And I'ma torture you till we find this place. Yeah, that's right. Thought it was just past this light, just past Van Dyke. Better hit that map light, read them directions. Oh yeah, you can't read and you can't write. Told me that last night. She took my CD out the deck, snapped it in half like relapse sucked. I snapped, hit the gas light, blew through the lights, spun out, hit a patch of black ice. Forgot we had a trailer hitched to the back. We jackknifed. Bitch flew out the car. I laughed like she deserved it. She didn't think I'd act like that in person. Royce Marshall is grass right in front of the club.
Tell him I'll be there in a minute. I'm trying to break up this cat fight between my mistress and damn wife. Then a chick wanted a hug. She was fat, so I gave her that. Then I tell her to scat. I'm not mean, I'm cute. On my way to the front door, taking the scenic route to avoid this chick with a lace front looking like Venus is in Serena's hoofs. I'm just saying, them chicks got horse asses, they've been attractive. Hope when they see me, they don't slap me with their tennis rackets. My mind drifted back to this shit. I see my wife push her down, step over her body, then smack the mistress. Police outside, I turn and pass the gat to vicious. Then I step out and see my evil twin, he gives me an evil grin. He mugs the mistress, turns around and gives the missus hugs and kisses. Looks at me twisted like nickel.
Yeah, what's this shit?
He smacks the dentures out of the mouth of the fat bitch he rode with and looks back to mention.
Royce, it's good to be back to business. They said, you ain't really like that, oh. You're putting on a show as you might get. You're breaking our heart. They said, you're breaking our heart. You ain't really like that, oh. You're putting on a show as you might get. You're breaking our heart. They said, you're breaking our heart.
Okay. So we get to the conclusion of the story.
So they finally met up.
Yes. So Eminem comes in for his third verse of the song. He says, "We've been riding around in this hatchback till I'm fucking hunchback. Where the fuck's this party at, slutbag cunt? Cut what act? Think it's an act? Fuck that. I'm trying to shag scuzz. Better find this love shack or somewhere to fuck at. Don't touch that, you fat dyke." Okay. So
Trying to find a party.
so now we know they're in a hatchback car with a trailer on the back. So this is just a wild scenario. And he's hunchback, I guess, because it's
Because he's been like trying to find where they're going. So, you know, when you're driving, you're trying to find where you're going, you like lean forward and stuff.
yeah, and I think
So
it's
he's
probably
just like, he doesn't know where he's going.
I think it's probably also small because it's a hatchback, but yeah.
Mm.
And then he says to the girl, he goes, "Where the fuck's this party at, slutbag cunt?" So it's funny that he calls her all of that at once. And then cut what act? So she, again, like the chorus, like the beginning, she's like, "This is an act. Like you're
Yeah, like this isn't you
yeah,
usually.
stop trying to act like this." You know what I mean? And then he says, "Think it's an act. Fuck that. I'm trying to shag scuzz." So he calls her scuzz, which is funny. And then, yeah, better find a love shack or somewhere to fuck at. So he's looking for a place they can have sex. And then he says, "Don't touch that, you fat dyke." Again, very funny. "I'm trying to hear some bagpipes from Baghdad. Don't act like you don't like don't act like you don't like them accents. I rap tight. And I'ma torture you till we find this place. Yeah, that's right. Thought it was just past this light, just past Van Dyke. Better hit that map light. Read them directions." All right, so we'll stop here. So when he says don't touch that, I guess she's trying to change the radio.
Probably.
And he's listening to his song, Bagpipes from Baghdad. It's about Mariah Carey, which is funny. And then he says to her, "Don't act like you don't like them accents." So again, he's referencing the accents. And then he says he's going to torture her until they find the place. And then he thought it was at the light, thought it was past Van Dyke, which again is another street in Detroit. And then he says, "Better hit that map light and read them directions." So he's saying that to her, the overhead light.
Yeah.
And then he says, "Oh, yeah, you can't read and you can't write. Told me that last night. She took my CD out the deck, snapped it in half like relapse sucked. I snapped, hit the gas like, blew through the light, spun out, hit a patch of black ice, forgot we had a trailer hitched." Okay, so we'll just explain this part again. So he asks her to turn on the map light to read the directions, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, you don't know how to read."
or right.
Or right. And she told him this last night, apparently. She got mad at him saying that, takes out the CD, which is his CD, Relapse, breaks it in half, and then says it sucks. And then he gets mad. He slams on the gas, blows through a red light, spins out, hits Black Eyes, hydroplanes. And then at this point, we find out that there's a trailer hitched to the car.
Got it.
It's so wild. And then he says, forgot we had a trailer hitched to the back. We jackknifed. Bitch flew out of the car. I laughed like she deserved it. She didn't think I'd act like this in person. And then you hear an ad lib of it's Eminem doing it, but it's somebody else talking to Royce saying, Yo, Royce, Marshall just crashed right in front of the club. So, yeah, they have the trailer. Jackknife. She went out the window. And he laughed because he thought she deserved it. And again, she didn't think he'd be like that. So then Royce gets told Marshall just crashed in front of the club. And then Royce says, Tell him I'll be there in a minute. I'm trying to break up this cat fight between my mistress and damn wife. Then a chick wanted a hug. She was fat, so I gave her DAP. So I gave her like DAP, like a pound.
Yeah, like, yeah.
I gave her a DAP and told her to scat. I'm not mean, I'm cute.
So now they're meeting, interacting, and he's dealing with his wife and his mistress who see each other and they're like, they just found out about each other, I guess.
Yeah, they're fighting.
And then the fat girl who
So
wanted to
there's
hug, is that
another. No, there's just a
Jessica?
random girl.
Another fat
I
girl?
think it doesn't imply. You know what? It doesn't say. I never considered that it was
Yeah.
her. It's just another chick. I don't know if it is the same girl because we don't know where she is in relation. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah.
So yeah, she wanted a hug from Royce. Royce said she was fat, so we gave her a dap like she was a
Oh
guy
my gosh.
and told her to leave. Then he said, "I'm not mean. I'm cute." So, which is funny. Then he continues, "On my way to the front door, taking the scenic route to avoid this chick with a lace front looking like Venus and Serena's hoofs. I'm just saying, them chicks got horse asses. They've been attractive. Hope when they see me, they don't slap me with their tennis rackets." So he's going to the front door, but he's taking a scenic route, right? He doesn't want to go directly because he's trying to avoid this chick who has a lace front. I guess that's just her dress, right? Lace
I
front.
guess. I never heard that. I never heard that before.
And he says, looking like Venus and Serena's hoops.
I don't know
So,
what that is either.
so hooves are feet.
Yeah.
So he's implying that. So literally the next line is, "I'm just saying them chicks got horse asses." So they have big asses, right? But he's effectively saying they look like horses, Venus and Serena. So this chick with the lace front
Reminds him of
is
that.
like big, like very big. And then it's weird because he said, "I'm just saying them chicks got horse asses. They've been attractive." So he's dissing them,
Yeah.
but saying they're also attractive. Unless when he says they've been attractive, meaning they used
They
to
were.
be.
I don't know.
And then, yeah, then he says, "Hope when they see me, they don't slap me with their tennis rackets." So it's up in the air how he actually
Yeah, let us
feels
know
about
if
them.
you understand this better than we do.
I mean, I get what he's saying. He's like, they look like horses, but they're kind of attractive. So I don't know. All right. Then he continues, "My mind drifted back to this shit. I seen my wife push her down, step over her body, and smack the mistress. Police outside. I turn and pass the gat to Vicious. Then I step out and see my evil twin. He gives me an evil grin." I'll stop there. So he's on his way to the front door. He sees the chick that looks like Venus and Serena. He tried to avoid her. And then his mind goes back to his mistress and wife fighting, right? So he sees his wife, pushes her down, and then steps over her body and then smacks his mistress. So he's just disrespecting both of
Yeah,
them.
what?
It's just a wild story.
Oh my God.
And then he sees the cops outside and he turns and passes the gat to Vicious. I believe Vicious is Kid Vicious. I believe that's Royce's younger brother. So
Okay.
he sees the cops and then gives the gun to Vicious.
Mhm.
And then, so this line, "I step outside, see my evil twin, he gives me an evil grin."
It's Eminem.
And that's sampled in the song Evil Twin, which we did from the Marshall Mathers LP 2, which was 2014, so 3 years after this. He sampled Royce's literally this line.
I felt like I've heard this
You
before,
definitely,
but then
yeah.
again, I've heard this song allegedly.
Yeah. So, yeah. So he sees Eminem. Eminem gives him like a twist, like an evil grin to Royce. And then he says, he mugs the mistress. So he's like giving her a mean mug, the mistress. Turns around and gives the missus hugs and kisses. Looks at me twisted like nickel. Yeah, watch this shit. He smacks the dentures out of the mouth of the fat bitch he rode with, looks back to mention, Royce, it's good to be back to business.
Huh.
So this is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eminem sees Royce. Eminem gives Royce a sinister smile, like a grin. And then he looks at Royce's mistress and gives her a mean mug, right? And then he turns around and sees Royce's wife and hugs and kisses her. So I guess he likes the wife and doesn't like the mistress.
Maybe.
And then he looks at Royce twisted and says, Nickel. And then we hear Eminem literally say, yeah, watch this shit. And then smacks the dent. Now we just found out the girl that Eminem was with this whole time had dentures as well. And she was fat. And then he says, he looks back and says, Royce, it's good to be back to business. And then it goes back to the chorus with the slight differentiation of, because you're breaking our hearts, you're breaking our hearts.
So all the girls.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
So very, very interesting story, very creative and very funny. I like it. It reminds me of like the song with that you played for me with Eminem with like the D12 guys where they're like having the problem at the club.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Reminds me of that song.
yeah.
And yeah, it's good. It's funny. I like it.
It is
And I like
funny.
the chorus a lot.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before. Like the chorus is actually very catchy with the way Eminem's singing it. But yeah, it's obviously a wild story. It's meant to be wild.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's obviously not serious, even though they started the song saying this is a true story,
I don't think
which
so.
makes it even funnier. But yeah, they're obviously intentionally being like over the top, like dissing and abusing women and even the women they're with. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? And then it's like it's good to be back to business is how it ends. Like this is what we
it's
do.
crazy.
Yeah, it's a funny song. It's very creative, and this is there's no like crazy bars to dissect. It's just storytelling. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But yeah, I love this song
it's good.
for sure.
But yeah. So definitely check out Carnivore Snacks, SeatGeek, like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys soon.
See you. Bye.
Bye.